Truth, even in the face of Armageddon. What is truth? Let's think about it. Is the truth always right? How could a truth be wrong? Can the truth hurt? Can it cause more harm than a lie? Can lies be comfortable and put people at ease? If the truth hurts and lies soothe, then what is the value of truth? Why have men across time spent so much blood and pain to find it? Every time we collectively believe a lie and teach it to our children, we permanently lose a part of our collective identity. That's what truth really is. The story of us, humanity, tried and tested over generations until the pool of evidence had become so great that the surety was undeniable. An unspoken social contract. Humans do not decide what is valid and what is not. We simply discover the truth that had existed all along. It's impervious to manipulation, bereft of emotion, and immune to the wiles of corruption. And though it might be uncomfortable and cause friction at times when people are confronted with it, in the end, truth will always be the salve that will heal the wounds the lies left behind. What is true will always be true. Not even an Armageddon can change that. The Watchmen by Zack Snyder came out in 2009. And being a super fan of the Smashing Pumpkins basically my whole life, I was immediately drawn in by the trailer. First of all, I would never profess to be a comic book expert, if such a thing exists. However, I spent a good chunk of my childhood reading through old X-Men and Batman comics, but shamefully, my most read comic of all time is Archie. My mother would buy me one every time she went to the grocery store, and I ended up with quite the collection at 18. And as a result, the first girl I lived with had some immediate skepticism about the longevity of our relationship. In 2009, I was 20 years old and had just discovered how much I loved cocaine. And while I missed this one in theaters, one morning after a night of partying, I sat down in front of my TV in my townhouse to write out my latest buzz, and my girlfriend at the time had bought the movie for me, but it was still in the packaging. After I watched the movie, I thought, it can't be this good. And then I watched it again, and again, and again. Initially, I was drawn in by the comedian. He was doing the same thing I was, kicked back in a bathrobe with a glass of whiskey watching TV because he couldn't sleep. Unforgettable plays in the air like a sweet lullaby as a beautiful woman bathed in the sunlight, and her bare skin sparkling. The door breaks, the loud creak of the assassin's gloves, and then what is one of the most brutal fight scenes in film history. But what I want to talk about isn't a blow-by-blow of the movie plot or my party days. I want to talk about Rorschach and why he's right. A few months later, I got bored of the cocaine habit and moved on, but I never really forgot about The Watchmen. And what began as a simple fascination was followed by years of study and analysis into its world and characters. To understand Rorschach, one must understand the concept of objectivism. I remember I dated a woman who was quite the bookworm, and on her break from college, she asked me to come up with a book list for her. Included were novels by Nick Hornby, Lawrence Block, Chuck Palahniuk, Jack Kerouac, and Franz Kafka. But on the top of the pile I put in front of her was Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, written by Ayn Rand. To say that Ayn Rand and her body of work are divisive is an understatement, but why is it divisive? Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow? Perhaps it's because in the 1950s, news organizations branded Rand a cult leader, as her books had started influencing mass amounts of people who agreed with her ideology. Famously, the controversial author surmised objectivism as the concept of man as a heroic being, with his own happiness as the moral purpose of his life, with productive achievement as his noblest activity, and reason as his only absolute. Truth, even in the face of Armageddon. Objectivism at its core removes emotion from the equation and replaces it with purpose and cold logic. Ayn Rand, who praised dystopian novelist Dostoevsky for his merciless dissection of the philosophy of evil, takes the same stance as many Russian writers of the 1930s to 1950s, that the individual has value and the needs of the one should take precedent over the closed fist of the powerful, but also ought not be forced to work harder to make up for those who refuse to. Rorschach is an homage to Steve Ditko's characters, Mr. A and The Question, both of whom were inspired by Rand's philosophy, or if you were listening to the news in the 1950s, you can call him a cult member. An axiom is a statement that is assumed to be true so that the premise might then be challenged to determine whether or not it holds up to scrutiny. Objectivism has three, the core of which is existence. In Rand's philosophy, existence is simply the word we use to differentiate between something and nothing. Existence exists, and in knowing this, one can observe and interact with objective reality. A leaf cannot be all red and green at the same time. Or, to a certain extent, there is a reality that exists independent of our consciousness, the second axiom. Consciousness is simply the method by which we perceive existence, but only to perceive and never to alter, as reality and objective truth are constant. The third axiom is identity, and while existence differentiates between something and nothing, identity is the concept of the self, what makes one differ from the other. All these axioms are tied together by logic, that your identity might drive your consciousness to make rational observations of existence. Realistically, it takes about 3 minutes after turning on the television to completely lose all faith in the average human interpreting existence logically, but correct or not, objectivism is the core theme that influenced Rorschach's character. After the death of the comedian, Rorschach heads to his old partner's house to lay low after knocking out a police officer. Dan Dryberg was the Night Owl, now retired due to an executive order by President Nixon that outlawed masked vigilantes. Only one of the group who refused to give up his identity, as it's one of his core axioms, and his mask represents
You are about to enter a world of imagination. A world where battles are fought on hex maps and grids, whether virtually or in person. Dice are cast, swords clash, and even the toughest problems can be solved with a little ingenuity and a lot of luck. Ladies and gentlemen, with dice in hands and a heart longing for adventure, I'd like to welcome you all to this reading of the created. And welcome to Ravenlore. I'm still working on the intro. Trying to find one that fits with this. I know you're hearing double right now. Don't worry, I'm gonna fix that in a second. I just wanna tonight we're gonna go back through the created. Finish it up. I apologize for the misleading goose. There is no goose. I'm sorry, no goose. But the Goose Darklord is somewhere here. The Goose Darklord is always with us. Oh, don't mind the weight screen. That's my fault. I did not mean to hit that. I totally hit the wrong thing. But anyway, it's good to be back in front of the mic, and we're gonna have some fun tonight, or at least what passes for fun. What you saw here at the beginning, that was Morality in Movies with my friend Retrostorian, and I'm gonna bring the chat up here for a second. I lost it. Give me 1 minute. All right, let's bring the chat back up. All right, let's see. So how's everybody's Friday doing? Let's see. I went and saw the Minecraft movie tonight. Let me turn this volume here. Yep. Went and saw Minecraft with the kids. Cecilia and Gideon and Marcus, and they loved it. I only got one thing to say for anybody who may be listening. Chicken jockey. Y'all don't even know. Yeah, let's put this back on. All right, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna fix the double sound here because I know it sounds double. So give me 1 second. All right. If anybody's wondering, this song is called La Petite Danseur. Alright. For 5 points, can you guys tell me what video of mine that this was in? I can tell you because I remember all the songs off of all of them. But that's just me. So, is anybody out there, show of hands, do you remember where we were at in the created when we last read it? I'm guessing that's probably a no, because I don't even remember. Like, we're going to have to go back and take a look. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's see. This problem's almost fixed. You know, if they ever went right, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. But we don't have to worry about that. So, oh. And that's not working now. Alright, let's try a new one. So, let's see. There we go. There we go. Now I brought it back up. I was trying to find the chat was not... I could not get the chat to show up. So, I know this really doesn't mean a lot to anybody, but there's a certain way you have to get chat to appear on Streamlabs if you don't have your widget correct. And I don't have my widget correct, so I had to do it this way. So, boy, y'all are here for the ramblings of a D&D YouTuber. All right. Pardon me while I make this last little adjustment here to where I'm comfortable. And look, see this? The text is all wonky. That shouldn't even say that. That should say they created. So we're going to change that real quick. All right. We are going to get to reading in a second, I promise. There we go. All right. Now that that's done. Yes. Oh. Thank you. You want to say hi to everybody? There's Brittany. Brittany.
Hi.
Thank you, sweetheart. She's so nice. She's my rock. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be anywhere in this world if it wasn't for her, quite frankly. All right. Last thing I gotta fix is the voice. So I know how to fix that. That will take a couple seconds. So if anybody can tell me why I'm coming through double, I don't know. You can't win anything. All right. Source settings, global settings. All right. So that should take care of that. All right, let me know if that's fixed. Okay. So you should be... My voice is controlled by the output now, so there you go. Okay. All right, now we're good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to now take a look at the created. So we're going to look back at the last video that we did. And then we're going to go from there and see where we need to pick the story up. All right. Here's the stones. All right, so we're going back now to the old created video, the last one that we did. And I just have to put that on the screen. So, anybody out there in the chat, just let me know if the levels are coming in okay and all that nonsense. All right. So I know you guys are seeing behind the what do you call it? Behind the curtain here. All right. Tomorrow night, while we're here tomorrow night, we're going to watch some more movies tomorrow after we listen to Jason over PhD&D read a story. We're going to come back over to the Discord and we are going to watch some movies. The movie that we're going to watch, we're going to do a double feature. So we're going to do help me out here. The one Fight Club. We're going to do Fight Club. And then after Fight Club, we're going to do a movie that is the we won't call it the prequel. A prequel to Fight Club. Prequel to Fight Club. And some of you may be saying, like, Fight Club didn't have a prequel. What are you crazy, Jason? Fight Club didn't have a prequel. And I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. Fight Club did have a prequel because Fight Club was, in fact, a sequel. Now, I know what you're thinking. There you go with those crazy ideas again. But no, it actually is, and I'll prove it to you tomorrow. I just have to chain. We're almost there. Yeah. All right, let's see. I need to add a new source. Capture 2. And Windows. There we go. That's the one I want. All right. We can get rid of that window. All right. I like how I called it the creative wrap-up. That's funny. All right, I'm going to pause the music here so we can take a look at the last couple minutes of the previous video. So, all right, let's pause that here. Oh, man, why do I look more handsome there than I do now? That is nuts. So disappointed in myself. I'm not, actually. I'm just kidding. All right. All right, now let's go take a look. So, I think you may be getting a double dose. Let me just check, make sure you're. All right, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing. Two of my voices. Give me 1 second. If anybody's out there in chat, let me know. Oh man, how funny! How funny is that? Talking about having two voices come across when, like, clearly that's just what happened. In fact, all right. So, H tools. The wall here is littered with small pegs upon which are hung the tools of a toy maker. There are saws, knives, chisels, and hammers, tongs, drills, pliers, T-squares, clamps, and a myriad of other tools. Myriad? Most are small, delicate devices suitable for making tiny items. Underneath the tools is a box of straw. The straw is used for stuffed dolls and to pad small chairs or other such items. 10 to 12. Display tables. Each of these two tables sits directly below a window. Toys and dolls are set out here to lure passerby into the shop. The 11 display tables has 3 wooden puppets, not marionettes, that have been animated. The 12 display table has 2 of them. The 12 display table has 2 of them. These are animated toys with the special ability to use their strings like a whip. Each has a range of 2 feet and does no damage. Good. But the victim must make a save versus breath weapon to have one limb tangled into the string. This attack only works against tiny size opponents. Animated toys. Lawful evil. Intelligence. Average. AC 6. Movement 6. Hit die 2. So, 9 we're on dim the lights. 19. Okay, dim the lights. Attacks 1. Damage 1. Special attacks. Tangling strings. Special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells. Magic resistance, nil. Size, tiny, 1 foot tall. Morale, fearless.
All right,
20.
let's see where we're at.
Experience, 175. The glass in the shop windows can be broken, but not as easily as the characters might assume. After all, they are only 12 inches tall. An individual PC doll pounding on the windows or throwing something at it will not break it. It takes a cooperative effort of 3 or more doll-sized characters to shatter a pane. They must use their collective strength, not just attack as 3 individuals. For example, if they all pick up a hammer too heavy for only one of them to wield, or run at the window with a battering ram-like object, the window will break. The shattering glass has no effect upon their wooden bodies. Obviously, normal-sized PCs would have little problem breaking the window, but the PC dolls, this will be quite an easy endeavor. Hang on, I don't know. I think I gotta change this real quick.
I must have been getting tired. That's because like Thorzine the stream. Change the music. Good, Jason. Good, Jason.
1 second here. I just had to fix the music. All of a sudden, it became like a jam band in here.
Word. I was saying the same thing past me.
No. No jazz.
Oh, I got the music. I got the music part fixed this time. Trust me, you're not gonna be hearing any weird stuff on the musics. All right, so that's the Liglio. What page is that? Can anybody tell me what page that is? I can't read
with
it.
the music tonight, so I do apologize.
Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna get a solid playlist for these things one time.
And I did. Oh boy, I certainly did. All right, so we're there, Giuseppe's. All right,
Hey,
I'm gonna let
man,
past me talk
relaxation is
for a
one
minute.
cap.
So we can get
I know, I'm
reacquainted.
relaxing myself too. This is zenning me out. I'm not gonna lie.
Boy, I
All
know it's weird, like having these
Some water
conversations
will
with
get
myself
in
in
you.
the past. All right, so I'm gonna let old me
All right.
catch us up, and
So you get it, like, right? You can't just like.
I am
3 of
going
them just can't
to
just
pee,
individually bang one,
and
but they
then,
all have to pick up something. And
we're gonna watch a
together
little bit of
in
old
order to
me,
break
and then
the
we're
window.
gonna jump back
Which
into
I think is great.
the new section. So, all right.
It's a great distinction. Oh, blurry. There we go. All right. J, Dollhouse. This miniature house is 2 stories high,
Right back.
plus an attic. It is sized just right for the PCs. Like most doll houses, the front wall is missing, leaving nowhere to hide inside. K, Hobby Dragon. The head of this hobby horse is that of a dragon. It is a larger than normal animated toy and a fearsome opponent. It will only animate against human or humanoid intruders. It ignores the PCs while they have doll bodies. Its breath weapon extends in a cone 10 feet long and 5 feet wide, inflicting 2d6 points of damage upon anyone in it. Save versus breath weapon for half damage. Animated toy. Alignment. Lawful evil. Intelligence average. Armor class 6. Movement 6. Hit die 3. Hit points 15. Thaco 17. Number of attacks 1. Damage 1d6. Bite. Special attacks breath weapon. Special defense immune to poison, cold, electricity, and mental spells. Magic resistance nil. Size small, 4 feet tall. Morale fearless 20. Experience 270. Rocking unicorn. L. Built like a normal rocking horse, this one has a unicorn horn on its forehead. It is larger than a normal It is larger than normal. It is a larger than normal animated toy. Like the Hobby Dragon, it will only animate against live intruders and will ignore the PCs if in their doll bodies. It only attacks is to charge an opponent and engore him for 1d6 points of damage. To attack again, it must back up and charge. It can do this every round. That is the meanest freaking unicorn I've ever heard of. Animated toy, alignment, lawful evil, intelligence average, armor class 6, movement 12, hit die 3, hit points 18,
Thaco 17. Number of attacks 1. Damage 1d6. Charge. Special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells. Magic resistance, nil. Size, small, 3 feet tall. Morale, fearless, 20. Experience, 270. Hoop and stick, M. This animated toy works by having the stick hit the hoop rapidly, thus making it roll forward. The hoop cannot cause any damage itself, but it can fall down and encircle a victim. As long as the victim remains inside the hoop, the stick can strike it twice a turn. If there is no target inside the hoop, the stick must spend a round flipping up the hoop and then roll it forward to find a new victim. You imagine that? You're in the shop, just hoop is just bouncing toward you. Animated toy, alignment, lawful evil, intelligence, average. Armor class 6, movement 12, hit die 2, hit points 8, Thaco 19. Number of attacks 2. Damage 1d3. Special defense, immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells. Magic resistance, nil. Size, small, 2 feet tall. Morale level, fearless, 20. Experience, 175. N, kite. With a griffin painted on it, this kite is able to sail around the room and bump into things, doing 1 point of damage. Animated toy, lawful evil, intelligence average, armor class 6, fly 6, hit dice 2, hit points 8, Thaco 19, 1, damage 1, special defense, immune to the same stuff that all toys are immune to.
That wasn't
right. Poison, cold, electricity, and mental spells. So magic resistance, nil. Size, small, morale 20, and XP 175. Look at poor old Giuseppe. He never knew it hit him. Just one day, I want to be a real murderer.
Oh, not funny. I wish it was funny. Boy, that would have been much better if that was funny.
Oh, table. This is where Giuseppe has most of his meals.
All right.
There's a mug,
Tables.
a dirty food bowl, and a wooden spoon on the table. A soiled cloth lies crumpled next to it. Its loose threads are beginning to
All right, I'm going to skip forward. I'm assuming I just read the rest of the descriptions here.
Guys have no objections.
Well, that was it. Okay, so we just got through the tables. All right.
Closet. This small area holds clothes, books, and other personal effects. All right, curtain call. Okay.
We're good there. We're good. All right. So, I'm hoping everybody remembers the basics of the created. Let me know in chat if you forgot the basics. But little Italian town taken over by marionettes, otherwise known as carionettes. All right, let's. We're gonna switch to the book. So let me get my book camera on. And nope, not that one. That is this one. Nope, not that one. That one's sure. That one. And then we're going to put the book camera up. There we go. Streamlabs, since the update, has not been working well. I'm not going to lie. So I did an update with Streamlabs today. And, yeah, some of this stuff is just, it's just not working well right now. All right, so I'm going to have to close this input and then try it again. Ugh. So I used to say that Streamlabs worked the best out of the ones that were out there, and I had no problems with it. And yeah, it's just being a little bit difficult now, but we got it. There we go. All right, that's on. Let me change that. That's black and white. You know what? I'm gonna leave it black and white. Okay, there we go. All right.
So we're going back. All right. There we go. So, curtain call. Now, you guys probably really won't be able to read it, but let's be honest here. You guys aren't going to read along with me anyway. Most likely you're going to be watching. All right. I could zoom. Let me tighten it up a little bit. Let me tighten that. A little fuzzy, but, you know, I think you can make it out a little bit better now. I think. I mean, heck with the margins. The margins are all over the place. It's okay. I'm glad these are like informal live streams and I'm not really expected to like entertain you guys, because this is far from entertaining. And I just appreciate you guys being here. All right, so it's even upside down. There we go. That should flip it vertically. That is what way we want to look at it. And I'm going to take it off black and white so you guys can see the color. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. All right, let's go. All right. Yes, it was the basis for that domain. I love this domain. This is one of my favorites. Even as simplistic as it is, I just love it. I just love how chaotic it is, really. Because this one you can get real chaotic with what's coming up with the carionets in the streets. You get super chaotic and drag it out if you want to, or you could have it open over like relatively quickly. But all right, we're on to the next section, curtain call. All right. Once the PCs have escaped from the toy shop, they still need to get their own bodies back. Let me know how the volume is, if the music's too loud or anything like that, if we need to make any adjustments. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Once the PCs have escaped from the toy shop, they still need to get their own bodies back. First, they need to find some silver needles. Then, they need to find the carionet-possessed bodies. As they wander town searching for these things, they are subject to random encounters. This is what I was talking about, the chaos. The encounters described below can happen whenever you want them to, and in any order. It is completely up to you to decide where and when to throw out these encounters. Suspicious carionets. The animated marionettes will know immediately that the dolls are not carionets. They will move to attack. This encounter should always be set up to allow the PCs a full round to escape before combat begins, should they choose to do so. There is no real need to fight more carionets at this point in the adventure. It's true, there's not. You know. And stats for carionets, I'm not going to read them again. You guys know what they are. Dog pack. Dogs are a common part of any town. With the streets largely empty, small packs have begun to roam around. They will attack carionets and dolls they see moving. The easiest way to avoid this encounter is to play dead. The dogs will sniff the doll bodies, then leave. Julio the Wild Man. The camera's almost useless. All right. This middle-aged man has been driven crazy by the recent events in Odier. He is determined to destroy as many carionets as he can, and he won't know the difference between the PC dolls and the true carionets. Julio will attempt to attack with surprise. He is carrying a burning torch, which he swings like a club. Any carionet or doll that touches it must save versus normal fire, using the item saving throw table. And that's noted at table 29 in the DMG for thick wood. These carionets got some thick wood. Sorry. Think wood. Stupid joke. Where is it? There we go. Failure means the doll is now burning and will lose 1d3 hit points per round. Wild Man, Julio. Alignment, chaotic neutral. Intelligence average, AC 9. Movement 12. Hit die 1, hit points 5. Thaco 20. Number of attacks 1, damage 1d4. Club. Special attack fire, special damage nil. Magic resistance nil. Size medium. 6 feet tall. Medium. Morale level elite 14. XP 35. So you do into Wild Man and you get 35 experience points. Hardly seems fair. All right. Innocence. Let me see. See if there's something I can do to make this camera look a little bit better on the book here, because this is not looking great. So forgive me. Forgive me while I make you guys seasick. I don't know why it's not focusing. Focus on it's terrible. Hi guys. Alright, well, I'm just gonna leave it up here. Never mind that. There we go. All right. Innocence. Angelica is a little girl about 8 years old. She is just wandering aimlessly, playing with whatever is around her. When she spots one of the PCs in Doll Body, she gets very excited and tries to pick him or her up to play with. She has a movement rating of 6, but no other combat abilities. Remember, none of the carionets in Odier will harm a child. Other denizens. The creation of the domain of Odier has caused few other creatures to become menaces. Giant rats now roam the alleys and sometimes bold enough to attack people in the streets. If the PCs play dead, the rats will sniff their bodies and leave them alone. Giant rats. 5. Alignment neutral. Evil. Intelligence semi. AC 7. Movement 12. Hit die 1/2. Hit point 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Teen Titans, go! Thaco 20. Attack 1. Damage 1d3. Special attack nil. Special damage nil. Magic resistance nil. Size tiny. 2 feet long. Morale unsteady, which means they're shakeable. So like it's 5. Experience 15 points. All right. Boom. Bad luck. This encounter should be used only if you feel things are going too easily for the PCs. Here, the PCs run into Maligno. He knows immediately that they are not under his control, and he knows he cannot control them with his power to animate the toys. However, he is traveling with 3 carionets and can summon 2d4 more, which will arrive in 3 rounds. The PCs probably have to flee to survive. Just a general aside here. Never be afraid to run. I don't think players accept that retreat is an option enough, quite frankly. Just like in real life, if the battle don't look like it's winnable, get out of there. Anyway, aside. Oh, this actually has the stats for Maligno. Alignment, chaotic evil. Intelligence, extremely. AC 4, movement 9, HD 6, hit points 30, Thaco 15, number of attacks 1, damage 1d3, special attacks, Otto's irresistible dance, ventriloquism, and taunt. Dance, whoa, whoa, dance, whoa. Sorry. I don't know if Otto sounds like that or not, but maybe he does. So, special defense, he's immune to poison, cold, electricity, and most spells. Magic resistance, nil. Magic rating? Is that more... I know a lot of people who wrote these books. Is MR, is that magic resistance? I always thought that was magic resistance. But if that's magic resistance, well, I'm not gonna harp over it. Carrionettes. We know the carrionet stat block, so we're not reading that. All right, next portion. Where the bodies are. Before the PC dolls can recover their bodies, they will need silver needles. The silver needles can be found only in the silversmith shop. Once inside, there are no encounters. It takes an hour to find the stash of 36 needles. Finding the PC's live bodies is another story. The carrionettes have all wandered off to enjoy having a real body. Each player character's body is in a different location. You can decide which body is in which location using the map on the gatefold. And then the locations are thus. So they're going to be in one of 6 places, according to this. So they're probably in one of the taverns, at the brewery, at the baker, at the candlestick maker, at the garden, in the courtyards, at the jeweler, in the town square. Now, if you thought I was going to rhyme, I couldn't pull it off. All the characters are alone except for the one in the tavern. He or she is among a crowd of other possessed adults, all drinking and carousing. Fortunately, none of them have any class skills. If any spot a PC in doll form, they know immediately that these are not fellow carrionettes. However, PCs who have already regained their bodies have a chance to fool this crowd. The bodies still have any wounds that they might have had from before. So, if they show up as carrionettes, the jig is up. Because they can smell their own. But if they show up in the PC bodies, then they can't sniff out the PCs. So, I'll just keep that in mind. Celebrating people, because you never know when you got to cut celebratory folk. Celibate folk. Hang on, I feel like that's loud. All right. There we go. I think that's probably better. All right. True. Celebrating people. 13 of them. Alignment, chaotic neutral, intelligence average, armor class 10, movement 12, HD 1. Cut them down. Hit points 4 each. Thaco 20. Number of attacks 1. Damage 1d3 with a makeshift weapon. Busting beer bottles and busting heads. Special attacks nil. Special defense nil. Size medium, 5 to 6 feet tall. Morale steady. I think that number should go up if they're drunk. Like they should be fearless if they're drunk. XP 35 each. Man, that's the same hit points as the Wild Man, as Julio. And I don't know. I'd give Julio more hit points if I were running this nowadays, because Julio shouldn't have same as the bar patron. When the PC regains his or her body, the carrionet body remains lifeless for an hour. See the Monsters Compendium entry on carronets, page 31. The doll is easily destroyed while it's helpless. Far. Always far. Remember sweet Georgia Brown. Oh, Lord, there's a far. Finding Maligno. The evil puppet has been busy while the PCs were dealing with the toy shop and regaining their human bodies. Confident that there is nothing in Odier that can threaten him, he has decided to put on a show for the children. Their applause and laughter is one of the few things that can make Maligno feel good again. As the PCs are wandering around Odier, they hear noises when they pass the Secolo Theater. I always called it Selco when I was younger. I don't know why. I'm Italian and I still mispronounced it. It's Secolo. Secolo. My son loves the Rico Loco commercials. I'm just not for nothing, but you know. Lost my track again. There we go. Show for the children. As the PCs are wandering around Odier, they hear noises as they pass the Secolo Theater. If they are cautious, they can peek in without being seen. Inside, Maligno is performing with several carrionettes on the stage. The show is called Sir Ardurin and the Worm. a variant of Sir George and the Dragon. Maligno plays the part of Sir Ardurian, and he is dressed in armor. An animated wooden dragon plays the part of the villain. 4 carionettes from the rest of the troupe, each dressed in a costume. A squirrel, a damsel, a king, and a court jester. The characters have 2 basic options: to attack now while the children are in the theater, or to wait until the show is over and the children leave. Third option would be to forget they ever saw it. But what fun would that be? If the PCs charge in now, they endanger the innocent children. Any PCs causing harm to a child automatically fails a Ravenloft powers check, as stated in Forbidden Lore box set Oaths of Evil, the ultimate acts of darkness. Maligno will not harm the children, but he is not above using them to shield himself. The children will flee, however, if threatened, yelled at, or intimidated. However, the crowd of scrambling kids will delay the PCs for a round, allowing Maligno to get a head start. If the PCs wait until the show is over, the children playfully file out of the theater, leaving Maligno and the carionettes. The evil puppets will remain in the theater for about half an hour. During that time, Maligno plots with the carionettes to cavort around the stage. After that, they will leave the building by the back door. If the PCs let Maligno and his band get out of the building, you will have to decide what happens next. Maligno could go back to the toy shop or to any other location. If he's being chased by the PCs, he is certain to conduct guerrilla-style attacks on them with a seeming unlimited supply of carionettes and animated toys. He got bodies to burn. Maligno will also send Giuseppe from the PCs with his life. Maligno will also defend Giuseppe from the PCs with his life, and he will prevent the puppet maker from contacting the PCs. Sorry, I'm trying to give you guys a good view. You know what? Give me 1 second here. I'm making an executive decision because I can't get the book to look good. I'm going to make myself look good. I'm just going to move this book up over here in the corner here. All right. We're just going to do this. It looks better. Yep. I think it's better. All right. Sorry, guys. It was too blurry. I just don't think the juice was worth the squeeze. It just didn't look that good. All right. Where are we at there? Maligno will also defend Giuseppe from the PCs with his life, and he will prevent the puppet maker from contacting the PCs. Again, we've got the stats for Maligno. I don't think we need to read them again. Animated wooden dragon. Alignment, lawful evil. Intelligence average. AC 6. Movement 6. Flying speed 12. HD 2, hit points 15, Thaco 19, number of attacks 1, damage 1, special attack breath fire or fire breath, depending on where you want to, which one you're calling a prefix and a suffix. 12 inches long, 1d6 damage, special defense immune to poison, cold, electricity, mental spells, magic resistance nil, size tiny, fearless 20, experience 175. All right, and we've moving on to carionettes. We've read carionettes. If the battle goes poorly, Maligno will try to escape. If the PCs have not blocked the exits, or it looks like he will actually get away, the ghosts of the theater rise up. The spirits of the murdered parents appear, barring the exits for Maligno. The doors and windows slam shut. A ghostly chant of "Burn! Burn! Burn him! Burn him!" echoes through the theater. Between the efforts of the ghost and the PCs, Maligno will not be able to escape the theater. The lanterns hung on the walls are readily available source for fire. Once a flame touches wood or cloth in the theater, it burns quickly. It is impossible to get out the flames. The ghost will make no effort to help or hinder the PCs. The characters can open the doors to escape without any trouble, although the doors slam shut behind them. If the characters are foolish enough to not escape before the flames engulf them too, the ghosts will not help them. The spirits are only interested in the vengeance of Maligno. Conclusion. Boy, really like boom, boom, boom. When you find the bodies, it's like boom, boom, boom. No, but we'll talk about that in a second here. We'll get that in a second. Conclusion. Maligno is destroyed in the theater fire. At that time, all the carionettes and animated toys fall limply to the ground, inert and lifeless. Misty borders form from the edge of the domain. If the PCs enter the mist, they are transported wherever you want to take the party to next. This can come back to the normal campaign world or to another domain in Ravenloft. This is a low-level adventure. It will garner from 1,000 to 3,000 experience points for the party. If you want to use this setting again, the spirit of Maligno can live on. Should Giuseppe make another marionette, it might be possessed and animated by Maligno. The theater would remain burned down, and the ghost of the theater would still be laid to rest. Alternately, Giuseppe might escape the domain himself. He could be making carionettes on his own back in the PC's campaign world. Maligno himself is trapped in Odier, but Giuseppe and the carionettes are not. This evil can arise again. And then we've got stat blocks and whatnot stuff for Maligno. Let's take a look. All right, before we get to looking at that stuff. So, Jesus, what was I getting ready to say? It was an aside. Hold on. Conclusion. Domain. Oh, the domain. Oh, so I think it's generally accepted that Odier survives this encounter with the PCs, because Odier is on the same island as Life, which was there's a couple different smaller modules and settings where squoze into an island after one of the conjunctions. I think it was 3rd edition, or pretty sure it was 3rd edition where it got all smooshed together. Shout out to John Mangrum. So I would definitely have the whatever spirit was in Maligno reincarnate in another carionette's body in perpetuity. I'd also probably have like what I would like to do would be have like the spirit of Giuseppe also reborn into the child, so that there's always like this cycle of doll maker and doll, like constantly like death and rebirth going on in Odier. This is did I tell you before that this is like one of my favorite one shots? So, all right. So we're gonna look at Maligno. And for the next one, let me know in the comments on this video, what modules should we super dive in next? And so I am going to try to do one of these a week at least. I've decided that it's not going to be it won't be too difficult to do these live streams, and I enjoy doing them. And I'm out of practice, which is why these are kind of like janky and stuff. But I'm sure I can get back to the point where these are actually something resembling interesting. I appreciate you guys watching, who are watching, and let me know in the comments what module you would like me to do next. I prefer something on the shorter side, just so I can get through it a little quickly. Eventually, I am going to do what I feel like is a mini gazetteer, the very first one that was made. My brain is shot. Feast of Goblins. That's the one I was thinking of. But look how thick this is. And like all the stuff that came with this. Feast of Goblins is like pretty close to like gazetteer size book. So I wouldn't mind doing that, but you know. So yeah, I did the Howl at the Moon. It was the last long read through was Howls in the Night. Sorry, Howls in the Night was the first one I did a long read on. But I did the Loop Guru video on the werewolves. So I've done a lot on were creatures already. So maybe I want to stay away from were creatures. Oh, Gothic Earth, yes. Yeah, we could look through that. You want to? Do you want to go through the Mask of the Red Death or the Gothic Earth? I guess we should start here, right? We should start with the setting book if we want. So next time, unless anybody else has any objections, next time we could start digging through Gothic Earth. I know Saba would really like that. Saba is Bill Connors, who wrote the book. There's this too, the Gothic Earth Gazetteer. If this is, I don't know if this one's the one you're talking about, but we could do this one too. It's all part and parcel with the same setting. So, all right. Maligno. The innocence of a child. That innocence can act as a shadow where evil can hide, protected by its dark cloak. This is the tale of an innocent toy, so harmless in the hands of a child, so deadly when it steps away from the shadows and into the cold light of reality. Appearance. Maligno is a 1-foot-tall wooden marionette, a puppet controlled by strings. He is painted and carved to look like a happy, friendly little boy. He wears loose green shorts that have suspender-like shoulder straps called lederhosen, and a white short-sleeve shirt, a long-sleeve jacket, a cap with a single white feather stuck in it. And his creator, Giuseppe, is a super craftsman. Maligno's body and face have dozens of articulated parts. His eyebrows, lips, and mouth, even individual fingers, can move all independently. This gives him great expressiveness, agility, and hands from which to choke the life out of a bitch. Maligno's voice is like that of any other 8-year-old boy. High-pitched, even, and a bit shrill. He is a consummate voice actor. Maligno can sound honest, naive, bullying, petulant, fearful, or just about anything else. He is not able to imitate other people's voices, though. Background. Maligno is the unique creation of the mad toy maker Giuseppe. Driven by his own demented fantasy of creating a son for himself, Giuseppe crafted a marionette like no other. So strong was Giuseppe's desire that his puppet actually came to life. There's an old adage that says, "Be careful what you wish for. You might get it." That is what happened to poor Giuseppe. Though the marionette's body looks like that of an innocent schoolboy, the puppet is actually a thoroughly shellfish. The puppet is actually a thoroughly selfish and evil creature, blinded by his paternal feelings. Giuseppe is paternal. Yeah. Paternal? He's blinded by his paternal feelings? Oh, because he loves a doll and he'd do... Okay, I got it now. Yeah. Blinded by his paternal feelings, Giuseppe is unable to see the puppet for what he really is. Giuseppe's delight with his new creation knew no bounds. He named the puppet Figlio and showered him with love. Delighted with his work, Giuseppe presented Figlio to the town. While the doll maker adored his creation, most of the townspeople did not. The adults of Odier didn't believe in Figlio, and the puppet grew to hate them even more than he hated not being real. His envy and rage and hatred grew until it included even his father, Giuseppe. But the children of Odier were a different matter, for they believed in Figlio. The puppet loved the children, for they loved him in return. The puppet hatched a plot. He would kill all the adults of Odier. With only the children left, Figlio could play all day and be given the adoration he deserved. The angry puppet coerced Giuseppe into making more puppets, each with a living doll. Wait a minute, each with a? No, was a. Each was a living doll, but they were cold and inhuman, not at all like Figlio. To Giuseppe's horror, they obeyed Figlio and ignored their true creator. During the theater show, Figlio's carionettes, as he called the puppets, slew all the adults present, but they spared the children. This heinous act carved out a small domain in Ravenloft just for Figlio, and the entire town was transported into the demiplane of dread. That night, Figlio renamed himself Maligno. He sent his adult carionettes into the streets to look for other adults so that his puppets could take over their bodies. They would become the new adults of Odier, all loyal to Maligno. Sorry. All loyal to Maligno. Maligno, in turn, tried to take over the body of Giuseppe. He discovered that the demiplane of Ravenloft confers a curse onto all of its lords. He alone of all the carionettes is unable to inhabit a human body. Wah, wah. In fact, any harm befalling Giuseppe seemed to affect Maligno as well. Current sketch. To this day, Maligno burns with rage and frustration. He abhors his own body and wishes that he were always human. Most of his plots have one or two major themes. He is either trying to get a human body for himself, or he is trying to kill the adults that he can find. Maligno keeps Giuseppe prisoner, forcing him to make more toys and carionettes as he needs them. He gives many of these to the children of Odier as friends and protectors. Hence the MacGuffin doll at the beginning. Yeah. The evil little puppets... Sorry. The evil little puppet still needs the adoration of the crowd. He puts on regular shows at the Socolo Theater for the children. He is a wonderful actor, drawing gasps of wonder and pearls of laughter from his young audience. Maligno basks in the glow of their attention for that brief time. When a show is over, he is again forced to contemplate his true nature. Maligno is at his worst. Woe to the grown man or woman that meets the malevolent... What is it with M's in me? Woe to the grown man or woman that meets the malevolent marionette soon after. We're just going to leave it like that. Confronting Maligno. Maligno is a type of doll golem that's called a carionet. However, he is far more powerful than a normal carionet. He carries a folding straight razor whose blade is a full 4 inches long, and he wields it with unnatural viciousness. Like any other carionet, he carries 10 silver needles. He can throw them up to 15 feet away. While they paralyze whatever limb they strike, Like any other carionet, he carries 10 silver needles. He can throw them up to 15 feet away where they paralyze whatever limb they strike. Once a character is completely immobilized, a normal carionet can drive more needles into the person's neck and transfer its essence into their body. Not so with Maligno. He can call one of his carionets to take over a body, though, but he can't take it over on his own. Maligno is far more likely to carve up his victims like a side of beef, particularly if he is in a foul mood. Hey, give me the beef! Maligno has a few other special abilities. He can climb walls with an 85% chance of success, just like a thief. Using string or thread to help him, the odds rise to 95%. He can cast Taunt and Ventriloquism at will. His touch has the effect of Otto's irresistible dance, except the victim gets a saving throw that is not allowed under normal circumstances. Unlike other carionets, which are immune to only mind-altering spells, Maligno is also immune to almost all spells. He can only be directly affected by spells that cause burning damage, i.e. burning hands, magic missiles, flame spear. Flame spear, fireball, flame arrow, etc. Spells with indirect effects such as web, wall of fog, darkness, 15 feet radius, and so forth affect him normally. He is immune to cold and electricity in all forms. A warp wood spell would inflict 3d points of damage upon Maligno, slow him for 1d3 rounds. A turn wood spell works normally on Maligno, so much so that he doesn't even get a saving throw. I'm going to read that again. A turn wood spell works normally on Maligno, so much so that he doesn't even get a saving throw. If Maligno is injured, he can be repaired. Any of his carionets or Giuseppe can at will fix him. A single carionet or Giuseppe can repair 1 hit point a round. Up to 4 carionets can work on him at a time. However, they cannot do the most delicate work, which means that they cannot raise his hit points to above 24. Only Giuseppe can fix those last few hit points. He is also the only one who can repair damage caused by fire. Thus, Maligno protects Giuseppe from harm. Only his father can fix him up when he is really burnt. If Maligno is reduced to 0 hit points or fewer through normal damage, he remains alive but cannot move or attack. He can still talk, taunt, and use his animate powers, though. Even if Maligno is burned to 0 or few hit points, his body is not utterly destroyed. Giuseppe can rebuild his body and, by using a bit of the ashes, restore Maligno to that new body. So there's a little bit of magic there. There is probably a way to utterly destroy Maligno, but no one has found it yet. Maligno's most potent ability is, without a doubt, his power to animate the toys. He can do this at any toy that he sees within 30 feet of him. He can animate no more than 6 toys around and can have no more than 24 toys animated at a given time. The toy stays animated until Maligno decides to remove his control. Animating toys does not prevent the puppet from moving or attacking in the same round. An animated toy has the same basic combat abilities as a carionet. It does not have the wall climbing, silver needles, or ventriloquism abilities. However, it is immune to poison, cold, electricity, and mind-altering spells. Each toy will have a special ability related to its design. For example, a Jack-in-a-Box automatically gets surprised when it pops out of the box. A toy horse moves with a speed of 12. A toy soldier does 1d3 points of damage. You will have to determine the special ability of a toy as necessary. All the animated toys in this adventure have defined special abilities. So, like, if you just start, think about it. Like, if you put a like one of those pop balls, like it's got the cup with the ball attached to it, and it flips like this. Like, you would have to determine, like, what type of special ability that had. That's kind of an interesting thought there. So, if you stuck with me this far, and we're almost done here, but I want everybody in the comments just to humor me here. Like, think about the toys that would be in Giuseppe's shop, like single little toys, like simple stuff, right? What would you out there? What would you be if your consciousness could have to go into like a small little wooden toy or some sort of toy? What would it be, and what would its special ability be? Now you can get creative. Keep it smaller than a dachshund, maybe. So like the toys, maybe this big. So like, don't tell me like I have a real life size toy battle tank or something like that. So no, just like think about like I was a wooden duck that has the ability to fly and shoot pointed feathers at people. Like the duck can do that, and then maybe he's got the silver needles in under his feathers, right? So he would go around with the carionettes, and like this wooden duck that you think he just rolls because he's got like wheel feet, not real feet, wheel feet. So he got wheel feet, and you pulling a duck around, but like he can fly and shoot silver needles out of his wooden wings. That would like, yeah, something like that, some sort of special attack like that. But yeah, what would y'all throw in there? All right, Odier, the domain. The streets of Odier twist back upon the town like the thoughts of a madman. This condition prevails for as long as Maligno is alive, and he can only be killed by magic or fire. Even then, his spirit lives on in a suitable body. If he is killed, the edge of the domain revert to the misty border. Anyone entering the mist is transported to another place by the normal rules of the demiplane. Maligno can opera, and you get a domain, and you get a domain, and you get a domain. Oprah, where was that? Oprah. Where was Oprah? I don't even see Oprah anymore. Giuseppe, Maligno can open his borders purely by concentrating, but he has never chosen to do so. What a jerk. Come on, just open up the borders a little bit for like carnival or something. I don't even want to get into it. Giuseppe is intimately linked to the structure of this domain. He is the one person immune to the possession power of the carionettes, and he is the only person who can completely repair Maligno. They will do whatever is needed to keep Giuseppe safe. If necessary, Maligno will even have his cohorts paralyze Giuseppe with their silver needles so that they can carry him off to a safe hiding place. Odier is inhabited by mostly carionettes and wandering children. Maligno makes sure that he and the children are well cared for. There are animals here, such as dogs, cats, rats, and even giant bats. But there are few adults hiding in cellars and attics. They grimly attack any toy, especially puppets, that they encounter. Most avoid the children for fear that the carionettes guarding them will spot them. The adults will befriend other adults. So, that is the created, ladies and gentlemen. We have finished the created. Couple notes. Couple talking points. If anybody's got anything they want to say on air about the created, I invite you now to hop over to the Discord, and I'm gonna go ahead and if you pop in to the special events area on the Discord. If you pop in there, you can chat with me about the module or anything. I'm probably stay on for maybe like another 10 minutes. If nobody pops on the Discord, then I'm gonna get out of here. If anybody pops on the Discord and wants to talk about the created or anything else, I can bring you on stream audio only. You don't have to put your face on here, so you don't have to worry about that. But so let me go bring my big face back up here. All right, so what y'all think of the created? This is my go-to one-shot. It is so variable with the things not variable with plot, but this is another one where if you really think about it, you could, even though you know the premise, you could play it over and over again because your body's going to be in a different place when you need to find it. The way in which you get captured is going to be different. The way you break out of the shop could be different. So this one actually has a pretty decent amount of replayability with without getting into mucking with the plot. But I would like to see not a sequel, but and maybe it's like this in 3.8, but like I would like to see what the town looks like devoid completely of parents, because like when you first come here in this module, the people are still around, so you still see people. They're still parents, they're still adults, and then slowly they get taken over. But the adults are always there, you know. They're in the bars and stuff. So it'd be nice if Odair became like a, not even Children of the Corn. Oh, I got a boogie. Why y'all tell me I had a boogie? Thanks, guys. Wild in the Streets. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Wild in the Streets. So Wild in the Streets was a movie. I'd love to say it's not a pick, but it was a pick. Wild in the Streets was a movie from the 60s. Believe nobody over the age of 16 was allowed in the town, and they like killed people as they got older, and then eventually like they started killing them younger and younger because the younger kids decided that no, we don't need 16-year-olds. You got to leave if you're 15 or 14. So it just kind of went like that. So I would like to see Odair like a Wild in the Streets with like psycho kids running around, and even like Maligno is scared of how nuts the kids got. Like the kids become the Darklord. Like Maligno is like scared hiding out. Like the kids are just like randomly burning the carionets, and like he won't hurt the kids. So him and Giuseppe are like huddled and hiding in his own domain because they're just being run amok by the kids, and like the entire town, like half the town's like burnt down, and the Giuseppe and Maligno can't get near the kids anymore because they just like randomly set fires all over the place, and the kids are outgrowing the carionets because they're getting older, and like they're, you know, it's like beyond Thunderdome there. Like you could do some wild stuff with Odair for the heck of it. But yeah, all right. Are you too far? Too far? I don't know. Let me know too far, and let me know in the comments if you think it's too far. All right. Let's see. All right. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? If not, I'm gonna get out of here for the night, and we're gonna let me know. I think we're looking at doing Gothic Earth next. We're gonna pick Gothic Earth Gazetteer and Mask of the Red Death and do ourselves a nice dive on. So yeah, that's next. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody who came, stopped by, whether it was on the Discord or here in chat. And thank you. Finally, give yourselves a round of applause. We finished the created. That's good. That's good. That was a long time. I promise. Oh, so, nope. I don't have anything else right now. Well, look, you guys enjoy your Friday night. I will catch up with you guys soon. Remember, you mean a lot to me. Don't get lost in the mist. And I'll catch you guys next time. And don't remember where the closing screen is. Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a good evening.